Rock Your Biz. Rock Your Biz, where women get together to help each other grow their business. Networking, boot camp, seminars. Rock Your Biz with Tracy Sheldrake.
Hi, thank you for joining us. I am your host, Tracy Sheldrake, and you are listening to Rock Your Biz on Whistle FM. Rock Your Biz is a community of like-minded women in business that are interested in collaborating, supporting each other, and growing their business. We will be showcasing these amazing women and how they help each other. Today, we are talking to Keren Duncan, creator of the Storybook to Success Roadmap. She is a serial entrepreneur that has generated a new way to spread your story and message while making an income and impact. Thanks for joining us, Keren.
Hello.
So, Keren, who is this for?
Awesome. I'm so glad that you have me here. I'm so excited. So this business, the Storyboard to Success Roadmap, is for coaches, entrepreneurs, small business owners, high achievers, and 9-to-5ers looking to level up their income and make an impact.
Okay, sounds exciting. So how do you teach them to make money by sharing this message?
Awesome. Yes. So I teach the 7 steps that are needed to monetize and create a lifestyle-friendly business with financial and time freedom. I help them to find their true calling, identify their target market, use their story to inspire others, create their message so the world understands what they're offering, teach them to enroll clients and get clients to sell themselves. Wouldn't that be awesome? Teach them how to attract high-paying clients and increase their fees, make offers, and deal with objections. And lastly, teach them how to build their power team and tribe to work with like-minded people and become a transformational connector to lift up communities.
Sounds like a lot. Sounds interesting. Sounds very detailed. What is the biggest challenge or struggle that they face?
Well, what I hear most from people is that they lack time and money. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's just the entrepreneurial spirit, but I built many businesses myself, and we all pretty much face the same challenges. We're trying to wear all the hats syndrome and not having enough money or time to really do what's important to make the business grow. I think that's why most businesses fail in the first year. And if they make it to the 5th year, they're still struggling with cash flow.
Yes.
Or they're the only one in the company that makes everything happen. It seems to be that working up to 80 hours for themselves to take home less pay than they would working 40 hours for someone else seems appealing. But they have this dream, this spirit and this desire to get their message and their skill and their gifts out to the world. And I want to work with those people who have that desire to contribute, who have a calling, even if they don't know what it is. So if they know what they want, I can help them get to the next level. If they don't know what they want, I can help them uncover their gifts. And then we use these tools to set up their business so they don't have to spend endless hours trading time for money. I think the biggest gifts that I bring to the table would be the ability to take their challenges and give them the big picture of the proper setup and problem solving and putting the puzzle pieces of their business together. Most people get caught up in doing one thing really well in their business or a couple of things really well. And they keep doing that one thing, but it isn't always the thing that's going to get them to success that they want. And it's just what they're good at. And it usually means other parts of the business are not going well. I think that I found this myself, right? I mean, in the service-based business that I've been in for so long, I was trading time for dollars instead of working on my business. And to my clients, in healthcare and massage therapy, it looked like the same thing, but it's totally not. I mean, when I was massaging my clients, I'm literally spending time with just them. I can't be building my business.
Absolutely.
And when I'm running Bodywork Center, I'm interviewing, I'm advertising, I'm networking, I'm hiring, I'm budgeting, I'm dealing with cash flow, I'm dealing with cleaning ladies and linen services. Yeah. There's so many things that you have to do, and you can't do everything. So
Absolutely. And I have to say, basically from that is you are one of those people who's always gone above and beyond and make sure they can find out what you can do for them or who you have to pass them on to. You have been my shrink for many years. So I am glad to see you in this world and helping us all out. So how do we get started?
How did I get started?
How did they get started? Where do we go? How do we get connected with this?
Yeah. So actually, I'd just love to share how I got started in this first, because like you said, I've had a lot of experience listening to your guys' stories over the years. It has been an incredible amount of time listening to you guys. And I feel like I kind of got my psychology degree at my massage work. And people always say, no, hairdressers and bartenders, they know everything. And I say, look, they got nothing on me. Like, I got you naked, face down. Like, you don't have to make eye contact, and I'm touching you. So people tell me way more than they probably should. And I get
you've had too many sessions like that.
I get to hear so much about what's going on in your lives. So I kind of joke that's where I got my psychology degree. But what I found is I ended up coaching a lot in doing that. So I love that this company brings both together, that story piece. I get to share people's stories, and we all have a story and a message to share. And then on the entrepreneur side, I can help people monetize, because people want so many incredible things. So yeah, I'll just go back and say, this is my life's work. I think every time that I've built a business, I just keep leveling it up. And this was just the next logical step for me. So this is how I got started. I think I went all the way back to 8 years old. And I was running home from school to play in the forest behind our house. You know, the sun was shining, and we had a fort in the forest back there, and this beautiful creek, and we had to cross this log to get to the fort. And I played out there all the time after school, and it was, my heaven. It was like incredibly beautiful just to be running in the forest and the creek and my dog and all that fun stuff. So yeah, I would play there until the streetlights came on. And this one night I went back to the house, and I didn't realize my parents didn't know that I was missing, because where else would I be but in the forest? And they were really mad. And back then, parents just, disciplined differently than they do now. And I remember they had this joke gift. It was a fanny whacker, and they broke it over my butt that night, which is kind of amusing. But at the same time, I don't know how I came to this conclusion, but I decided at that moment, I think, that I wasn't lovable or good enough. And I set out to become this little achiever from that, which, not all bad things have to be
Absolutely
bad.
not.
They can make you stronger, right? So I became this little achiever, and I got straight A's in school, and I started giving back and volunteering in special ed classes, starting all the way back in grade 6. So I think my mom always called me the bleeding heart.
Right.
And all the animals I brought home, and friends with extreme challenges. And I always had that servant's heart from a young age. But it started this entrepreneurial spirit where I wanted to achieve even more than just school or having friends that I could help. So I started my first company when I was 12, after having 4 paper routes at 11. I was not impressed with the paper route thing at all.
So just to say, we know you've started off as this little achiever, obviously with how, things that happen and how you're brought up. You are listening to Rock Your Biz on Whistle FM, and I am here with Keren Duncan, the creator of the Storybook to Success Roadmap, and she's sharing her story with us and how she got started. So we're here, we're learning, you're starting off your journey, you're having a little bit of issues, you're trying to figure out where you are in this world.
Yeah. So my first company I started when I was 12. I rolled out the red carpet with babysitting company. Yeah. I used to bring over the toys. I used to bring over new books and things for the kids because, kids get bored of their own stuff. I would clean up the house. I would leave it spotless, cleaner than when I arrived. If there was like bookshelves and toy shelves, I would totally organize them. I would do dishes, make sure the kids did their homework. I mean, what parent doesn't love that? I'd even let the kids stay up just like a little bit late, but not too late so they weren't cranky. So I became booked like 3 years in advance. And honestly, that experience was really valuable because that red carpet service, I've kind of brought it to every company I've developed since then. So being booked 3 years in advance sounded good when I was 12, but it wasn't so exciting when I was 15 or when I did my last babysitting gig when I was 17. But so what I did was I subbed out some of my friends and I taught them what I did because everyone in the neighborhood liked what I did.
Right.
And I took a little cut, which is weird, right? You don't do that when you're 12.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, so it was really fun, but I was still wanting love and connection, and that was back from when I was 8. So of course you turn to boys, and that was really challenging. So I found a mess of abuse and pain, and it drove me to some really dark places in my teenagehood. I think a lot of us went there. Definitely experimenting for the first time with drugs and alcohol and promiscuity, because I think when you have some difficult times, you either clam up or you go out there and put yourself out there. So
Absolutely.
Anyway, so none of that healed my heart. So I went back to achieving and fulfillment because boys are challenging. So I started selling high-end patio furniture and wood stoves at 15.
I can't even imagine that.
I became the youngest top seller of Vermont Castings wood stoves at the shop, and I really didn't love that either. I was missing that bleeding heart thing my mom was talking about, that heartfelt contribution. But I learned good skills. So I think at 17, I started in network marketing. That was my dad's gig. He was a high school principal, and then he always wanted business on the side. It was his dream, so maybe I caught all this from him. But we sold everything under the sun. I mean, there wasn't really a lot out there at the time, but if it was out there, we found it. We sold personal alarms. We sold special diet cookies. We sold perfume. It was crazy. But I loved that model of teaching others how to level up their income. But I found a lot of challenges in that business model as well, so I kind of left that aside. So I was doing a little bit of soul searching after that. Like, is sales all there is? I loved being an entrepreneur, but I wanted to make a difference. So I started my path in healthcare. So that's what led me to massage. And I love my dad's reaction to massage. He was less than impressed, let's just say, because if we go back, gosh, I'm dating myself now. That was 22 years ago I signed up for massage school. 23 years ago. Oh my goodness. And my dad's reaction was less than enthusiastic. He said, and I quote, "No daughter of mine is going to wear roller skates and a bikini for the rest of her life." And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, well, you think you're going to some reputable school, but you're going to end up working in some... He didn't say brothel. I think it was, I don't know if I can say this on the air. We can edit it if not, right? You're going to end up working in some whorehouse. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. Dad, you have coverage through York Region Board of Education for massage. This is like, but at the time, I don't think there was really recognition.
No,
I was
not at
kind
all.
of ahead of my time for that. So, which is the case with most things. My clients call it cutting edge, but I feel like I just like to play. I like to explore in the world and find out what else is out there. So then I spent 20 years in healthcare, really rewarding, giving back. I built up a practice to the point where I was booked 3 months ahead. I opened up my own clinic 7 years ago because I was booked so far in advance we were turning people away. And that didn't feel good either because we wanted to help, right? So now I could help 4 people at a time instead of 1, which was an upgrade, right?
Right.
It was amazing, but I realized that I needed to level up again. I ended up back in a network marketing company, and I have a few other small international companies still, and they taught me about travel and lifestyle, and like I've never seen it. And the desire to build a business that didn't suck all my time and energy kept me intrigued. Every time I left and come back, I'm tied to this little fleck in Newmarket, Ontario. Like, where is that even? When you travel and you say, where are you from? You have to say Toronto.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, nobody has any idea where you're
Usually
from.
If they just look at you with a blank face, you just go near Toronto.
Near Toronto, yeah. They're like, yeah, that's in Canada, right? I'm like, oh my goodness. So yeah, I got to meet these movers and shakers that were up to something and like really contributing on a massive scale and making an impact for what they believed in. And they were so financially able to contribute to major world causes, like more money than most people make in a year. So once I caught a vision of that, I had to step up. Most people never get exposure to this kind of life. And I realized through a lot of the self-development stuff that I've done, trying to heal my heart, that, life is happening for us, not to us. And we just have to listen and be open to receive the signs when they come. And when something's calling you, that you can be in a position to act or be resourceful enough to find a way. So I got really scared. I got really excited and started working with some big players, and I threw myself in and I trusted and committed and launched my new dream. So I love Storyboard to Success Roadmap because it takes that personal development side with all the business outcomes, and I get to do both. And I love to empower others to finally have a step-by-step way to achieve their dreams.
Absolutely. I love it. I love your story. I love what you're doing. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about how this works. Is it for you, and how you can make money with your story?
Hey, honey, guess what?
What?
Whistle Radio has a new morning show.
Get out of here.
Yeah, and now we finally have something to listen to every day from Monday to Friday from 7 to 9.
Yeah, great. So now I don't have to listen to you babble all the time in the morning.
Is that so? Tune in Monday to Friday from 7 to 9 a.m. for news, sports, weather, entertainment, and other reports with Stouffville's finest.
You're listening to Whistle FM. News, weather, traffic, everything Stouffville. CIWS FM 1029.
Welcome back. You're listening to Rock Your Biz on Whistle FM. And don't forget to get in touch with us at rockyourbiz.ca. We'd love to network with you on and offline. So, Karen, just before the break, we heard a little bit about your story and how you got here. The storyboard to success sounds very interesting. Tell us a little bit more about this. What's the outcome? What will this do for us?
The outcomes that people have is knowing what is special about their gifts and being able to find out what their potential client wants and let them know where to find you. That's a big thing. I find so many people have a business and they have an idea and they think it's fantastic and nobody knows where to find them.
Right.
It's kind of a problem. Being their real, authentic self to inspire others, so important. I think that's the feedback I get the most often. I think I invented No Filter Friday for a reason. Before it actually came out in the public,
Right.
I was always ahead of that too. And I actually had clients who booked with me just on Friday, which kind of blew my mind. I was like, what is this? So they were
It was
like,
more fun on Fridays.
it was more fun on Fridays, but you know what the funny part is I think I'm always fun. Just personally. My clients were like, what? This is you with a filter? I'm like, oh, F no. I totally know that I have no filter. This is so you guys can say whatever you want. And they were intrigued by that. And then I got intrigued that they didn't have permission in their real everyday life to speak authentically.
Right.
And that concerned me.
Yes.
That concerned me. So being their real authentic self, I mean, that's what people want, but rarely do they do it. So I love that. And it inspires others always. It's lifted up people. I can't even tell you all the stories of people it's lifted up. So then creating a step-by-step guide to create their messaging. People talk a lot and they say nothing.
Yeah.
And people are confused when they talk. Sometimes I watch all these pitches on Dragon's Den and sometimes the dragons are sitting there with like their furrowed eyebrows. Like, what is the pitch? What are you selling?
No, I get that too at the networking events. Sometimes if they overthink it and they're trying to tell the backstory, at the end of it, I literally go, I still don't get what you do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So be clear about what you want to share. Yeah. So that is a really important step. And then getting clients to sell themselves, that is strictly in the setup. I can't tell you how many entrepreneurs I work with who don't have the proper follow through, don't have the proper setup, and are always seemingly like used car salesmen. Not that there's anything wrong with being a used car salesman, but that image, that we all have.
Yeah.
So when clients are like, I'm in, I love it. It's a completely different place. So when you have your clients begging you to like sign up, it's really fun. Yeah, and attracting high-paying clients and increasing your fees, dealing with offers and objections. I think that's another big challenge that people have is not knowing how to find their high-paying clients or not knowing what to charge, what's fair for market value. And I've worked with so many businesses. I have an idea on a lot of them. And people are afraid to make offers, and they're so afraid of objections. Everyone is going to have objections. And usually, actually going to give you a little tip on this one. Okay. Usually, people have two objections. They have the thing that they're telling you, which is what I call the surface objection. Right. And then they have the underlying or secret thing that they're not telling you. So I teach people how to uncover the secret thing, because what you hear first is just like, our traditional blocks. Can I give you a sample of perfume when you walk into a store? You're like, no, thanks. I don't need to stink anymore,
Yeah.
or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So we're all trained to say no and put up
Right.
blocks.
We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Right.
But you really got to tell them the truth because it's okay. We need no's. We need no's to move on so we don't keep bugging you or focus on you.
Right. Except that sometimes the no isn't the no. And that's what I teach people. Sometimes
Okay.
people want something and they believe in you and they believe in your service or they trust you.
Right.
And something else is stopping them and you don't know what it is. So I teach
Okay.
people to uncover the secret
Gotcha.
thing, objection.
Okay.
Yes. And then the last thing is helping people find like-minded people to work with and to build their tribe.
Absolutely.
I think the biggest mistake that people make is staying in a circle. My mom said this, gosh, this really ticked me off when I was a kid. She used to say, you are who your friends are, just like that, because that's how she talked, right? And I hated that. I hated it so much because my friends were a bunch of what's the word I can use on the radio? Hooligans. Let's say that word.
Right.
They were a bunch of bats. So we, I just was attracted to that. And I really didn't understand that in business, it's really important to lift yourself up with other people who are up to really exciting things. So finding your tribe is a piece of gold. I can't even tell you.
Absolutely. Totally agree. So where do we go from here? How do you teach this? How do we connect with you?
Yeah, so far, getting on our email list is the best way to know about what's coming up. And I'm going to be offering free content from our email. So it is literally storyboard, the number 2, success roadmap at gmail.com.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the best way right now. They can also join our community. We do have a Facebook community. It's literally facebook.com/storyboard, the number 2, success roadmap, /
Okay. And they can also, if they didn't catch that, you can find out more about Keren on rockyourbiz.ca. And so do we have any workshops or seminars coming up? Can we do one-on-ones with you?
Yeah, so I actually have something really special to offer your listeners today.
Okay.
I always like to give back when I get opportunities, so really excited. I have a contest. We're giving away a free ticket to my next live event.
Okay.
The next one happens to be in Boca Raton, Florida, because
nice.
I do not like Canada weather. This freezing rain has got to go. It's in less than 2 weeks, so I know it's short notice. But if people are hearing this after and that event is over, I will offer, for this radio episode, a free ticket to my event if people want to engage. So, and I will also offer a free strategy session to provide clarity, which is what most people say they get from it, for what people desire and have their burning desire unleashed. So what they have to do to get the ticket is send their story, whatever story they want to share. It doesn't have to be a specific story, but their story along with the challenge. So the challenge is this amazing question. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
I'm so excited.
Ready.
So
I'm nervous. Okay, but I'm ready.
So I'm going to paint this picture here for you. So what is this? 2017? 2017. So now it's February 2018.
Okay.
This is the homework. If you could imagine that we're sitting here, I'm back on the radio, we're celebrating.
Okay.
For one of the listeners, the lucky listeners who won this challenge, what are we celebrating? If you could create whatever you want, be, do, or have anything in the next year, and you knew you could have it. There was nothing that could stop you. There was nothing that could mess you up. There's no problem you couldn't solve, and you knew you could have it. What would it be? So we're celebrating in 2018. We're like having a party here at Whistle FM, just saying, okay, we rocked it out. We rocked their biz. And what was the thing that they were able to create?
Okay.
So
and
that's
we're
the
gonna email
challenge.
this to you.
They got to email their story, whatever they want to share, and their challenge question. So that's the challenge question. So if you could be, do, or have anything by 2018.
So now, just to make sure everybody's okay with this and not too uneasy, even though they're not officially your client, this is still going to be confidential. You're not going to share any stories. This is just for you to pick the winner.
Just to pick the winner, and then the winner will definitely share their own story in their own way.
And then we'll have them on to hear their stories.
And actually, a little bit more on this. I challenge people to go deep. So I have people who say something like, I want to write a blog. I'm like, okay, great. lots of people write blogs. What is the blog for?
Right.
What do you want to create with that? Who do you want to impact? Like, just saying you want to do something and like, oh yeah, I want to create a blog. Well, that's not very interesting, right?
Right. Okay.
Although your blog could be very interesting.
A little bit more details.
So
tell
go,
your story.
yeah, just challenge yourself and go so deep. What could you create? What could you be? Who could you impact? Who do you want to help? Who are you here to serve on this planet?
Awesome. So you're listening to Rock Your Biz on Whistle FM, and I'm here with Keren Duncan. She's the creator of the Storyboard to Success Roadmap, and she's been helping us out. So now, Keren, give us some tips. What are your top 5 tips?
Awesome. I love this. All right. So one top tip, as you know, I've been in healthcare for 20 years, is treat your body as the vessel that it deserves to be treated as. We all want to create all these crazy, amazing things. And I can't believe how many people are out there going, I'm tired. I'm sick. Oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. So if you have a clear mind and you feel strong, you can create your dreams. You can manifest whatever you want. You can wake up early, which is my thing that I always dreaded. I swear I've been waking up with the sunrise since my last trip to California and Florida. It's crazy. Like, I've never been a morning person. I'm waking up with the sunrise now. It's because I'm treating my body better than I ever have in my life, because I know I have to step up and make these things happen. So number 1 tip is treat your body as the vessel that it deserves to be. Next one. All right. So a great coach is worth its weight in gold. I can't tell you how many people think they have to do it all by themselves or don't reach out for help. And sometimes it's just in the simplicity of what a great coach can offer to show you how you make something super complicated. Because I know nobody's ever done this, right?
Right. Definitely not me.
Definitely not me. That's how I learned that having a great coach was worth its weight in gold, because I started hiring coaches and started listening to other people. And it took me to swallow my pride and say, maybe I don't know everything.
Right.
And maybe I make things more complicated than I need to.
Maybe.
And then, sometimes I get on these calls with my coaches and I'm like, oh, that's so easy. Why didn't I think of that? We all know the answers, but sometimes that little perspective can make all the difference. So having a great coach is worth its weight in gold. Next tip, let's see. So remember we talked about how entrepreneurs have to wear all the hats?
Yes.
So I encourage people, and there's so many walls that go up when I say this, to hire people to do the things that you don't like to do,
right,
or the things you don't do well. And that takes some reflection. Sometimes you need to look at your business and say, I don't do this well. And that seems like a negative thing, but it's really not. It's a growth thing. If you can look at the things that you don't do well, and let's face it, it's not getting done anyway.
Right.
Or it's not getting done well.
Right.
So you might as well hire somebody. And although, yes, it does cost money and resources, it's going to save you so much more in the long run.
Yeah.
All right, 2 more tips I got for you. This one's a quick one. The last one's a little bit longer. So the tip is to be the example for others in the world. People are always watching. I can't tell you. I have so many people on Facebook now, just as an example, who are following me. And I don't even realize. I go to a place or I talk to a person, they're like, oh yeah, I've totally been following you on Facebook. And I'm like, really? I didn't think I was that interesting, but that's cool. I mean, we all think we're interesting, but I'm like, really? You've been watching me? And people are always watching. And I've had posts lately where people are like, you are the most inspiring person I know. I'm like, how good does it feel to be that person? And sometimes you forget that something to latch onto. They need some hope. And that's a beautiful thing. So always be the example that you want to see. I always draw that back to my kids. Who do I want to be as a mom, and what do I want my kids saying about me? So that's absolutely. Be the example you want. And then the last tip that I have for you today.
We got just a minute left. So give us our number 5.
The last tip, I have another challenge for you, and this is just for fun. You don't have to submit this to me, but you're welcome to if you want to submit it to us. So dream like you have never dreamed before. And this exercise totally changed my perspective on life. So if you had $1,000 a day and you had to spend it, and you knew it was coming every day for 30 days, and it doubled every day.
Oh, man.
What would you spend it on? And you have to spend it at the end of every day.
Okay.
So that's a fun challenge to do at home. If you feel like sharing it, I would love to hear it. We would love to hear it. Submit it to our email. And that's it for me. So
Awesome.
thank you.
I love it. Thank you so much for all this information. I love what you're doing. I can't wait to connect with you further. And if you'd like to connect with Keren, don't forget to reach out to us at rockyourbiz.ca and we'll connect you. And we hope to see you out at our meetings, on or offline. The only rules are to be authentic and have fun. See you then.
You've been listening to Rock Your Biz with Tracy Sheldrake on Whistle FM. If you'd like to get more information about the various networking programs, all you have to do is drop by our website at